inflation is a real thing and everything costs more. So whether or not, because honestly, like I know that people have their own ideas, their own misconceptions of how finances work, how money works. But I just want you to know that inflation is a real thing. Yes, there is some greed mixed in with the inflation. So it's not just all inflation, there is some greed. But I want you to know ultimately at the end of the day, in order for you to live how you want to live, like have the things you want to have, live the life you want to live, put your family in the position that you want to be in, like drive the cars you want to drive, live in the house you want to live in. You know how everybody, like when I was a kid, nice cars used to pass by and we used to go, hey, that's my, bingo, that's my car, whatever. Like, I don't know if the kids do that now, but when I was young, that was a thing. So you see a nice house, we go, bingo, that was our house. You see a nice car, bingo, that's my car. And so we grew up, speaking of me and my siblings, we grew up wanting a lot of nice things, but we didn't have those nice things. That was not the reality. Showing you that you cannot just sit on your hands and manifest better situations. It does not work that way. Nothing in the universe works that way. It all works by doing something. So the be do have principle: be more, do more, you can have more. Be less, do less, you do the math, you can have less. And I appreciate everybody joining me. I'm just going to be on here for a few minutes. I always say that, and I really try to keep with like a strict schedule because I got stuff I got to do. And so, but other than like, because I don't want to hurry out of your way if I got something important I want to give to you, because I think a lot of times it's worth it, especially if it's valuable. And so what I learned is something I want to share with you, and that is 80% of American, this is a big number, this is the majority, this means most people, if they had a $1,000 situation today, like a $1,000 emergency that had to be paid today, they cannot do it. Now, $1,000 is not a lot of money unless you don't have $1,000. Then it becomes $1,000 worth of money. How many hear what I'm talking about? So I've been in positions where $1,000 seemed like a lifetime worth of money, where I was happy to just save $10, let alone to have $1,000 saved. I've been in situations where I've worked and had negative bank accounts. So I've been in those situations, and like I always say on my videos, it ain't pretty and it ain't fun. That ain't cute, honey. Nope. So you don't want to be in those situations if you don't have to. And I'm here to tell you that, well, I'm gonna tell you something probably nobody else has told you, but I'm gonna keep it real. Is it okay if I keep it real? Okay, I'll go ahead and keep it real. Somebody left thumbs up. I guess that means I can keep it real. So being poverty stricken or being broke or being poor is voluntary at a certain point. Now, when you're born into the situations and you can't do anything about it, it's not your fault. I know y'all gonna love to hear that. If you are born into a bad situation and you can't do anything about it, it's not your fault. My baby girl is 10 months old almost. Whatever situation she was born into, there's nothing, absolutely nothing Renly can do about it. Nothing. So, but when Renly gets of age, and it doesn't have to be 18 or whatever it is, she can be 16 and her eyes open and go, wait a minute, this ain't how I want to live. I want my life to be better than this. And so she starts thinking about her individual life and putting her life in order. Why am I telling you this? Because if you're watching this, you're not 10 months old. You're not 10 years old. For most of you, you're not even 20 or younger. For most of you, you are in a position right now today, in spite of anything you've been through, or in spite the life that you were brought up in, or in spite of who your parents are, none of that matters. The only thing that matters today, and I've said this to myself, so I'm okay saying it to you. I'm not being a hypocrite. I've had this conversation with myself where I look back and go, man, my upbringing sucked. Man, I had a hard time. My childhood was a mess. And then, man, my life is a result of my childhood. And then I had to wake myself up and go, wait a minute. No, no, no. That was true when there was nothing you could do about it. But now you're at an age where you could do something about it. So don't worry about what you've been through. Worry about where you're going. The focus shouldn't be on what's behind you. The focus, it should be on what's ahead of you. You only look back to measure how far you've gotten away from where you don't want to be in the first place. Too many people are where they don't want to be. If you're in a position where $1,000 emergency happened today, so if life showed up, hypothetically, and life said, anybody who can bring me $1,000 cash today, you can live to see another day, right? But you got to bring your own $1,000 to me today by sundown, and you can live to see tomorrow. And 80% of America, what is that, like 200 million or more? They wouldn't make it until tomorrow. They wouldn't be able to see another day, right? So, but and I know that's a little extreme, but I just want to make a point to you, because your life is going to be determined by the amount of money you make. Does that make sense? So if you don't make enough money, then that means you're going to be put in a situation, and you're going to put your family in a situation that you can afford. That's why I'm a heavy hitter, Mike Tyson style, on your paycheck. Listen to me good. Your paycheck cannot be your only source of income. Please don't let that happen to you. If you do, that's going to put you in prison. The worst part about it, it's voluntary prison. There are millions and millions of people today in America who get up every month, get dressed, brush teeth, have breakfast, hug the kids, hug the wife, hug the husband, drop off the kids, run off to work, speeding through traffic, risking their lives and other people's lives, zooming in and out of traffic because you're 5 minutes behind schedule, right? Not even thinking about the idea that I'd rather lose my job than to die on these roads. But that paycheck is so powerful, so powerful. That paycheck mentality is so powerful that people are risking their lives on Monday mornings to get to work on time, to get it, to qualify for it, to not be eliminated from having one. Now, I'm not against jobs, and I'm not against paychecks. I've had them. I'll do it again if I had to. All I'm telling you is you cannot afford for your job to be your only source of income. Does that make sense? I'm preaching better than y'all are, amen, and I know I am, and they're not going to teach you this in college. Why would they? They're in college, they're prepping you to go get a job, so, well, I'm not going to get into all that. But trust me, you're being groomed to get a job. Nothing wrong with that. I have no problems with college. Well, besides it's overpriced. But other than that, I have no problems with college. I just feel like you should only go to college if you need a PhD or if you need a master's degree. If a bachelor's is all you need to get the job, then you don't need to be in college because it doesn't require additional training. If you're not getting a master's or a PhD, you probably don't need a degree to do the job. A master's, think about it. Why do they have levels of degrees they sell to you? Right? Because they know anybody can get the lower degree and they're going to charge you. Now they charge you for a bachelor's what they used to charge for a master's and PhD. So listen, by the way, hit thumbs up, subscribe to the channels, follow me at Middleman CEO on all of my platforms. Listen, inflation, yes, is a real thing, but the question is, because here's what I know about inflation. I can't do anything about it. Here's what I know about the gas price. I went to the gas pump today. The gas price here in Dallas was right at $3. I think it was $2.99, which is $3. And you know what I realized while I was filling the pump up, filling the gas tank up? There's nothing I could do about this. Nothing. The only thing I could do is put gas in the car because the car doesn't run without gas. So it has to have gas. So the question I'm sitting there going is, all right, I know I need gas, it's expensive. I know I need food, it's expensive. I know I want to live in a good neighborhood, drive a good car, and all of that costs money. So what am I going to do about it? Oh, I'm going to make more money. See, I'm never thinking about how do I get smaller, move in with my parents, move in with my friends, sleep on the couch. There's nothing wrong with that. I've been there, done that. I'm just trying to tell you, you got to change your mindset. So even while you are sleeping on your parents' couch or sleeping on your friend's sofa, you still have to be thinking about how do I make more money? How do I make more money? How do I put myself in a great position? Because if you're the average person, life's going to work against you and it's going to make it hard for you. So I don't want you to be in a position where you're constantly failing, you're constantly losing, right? You're constantly behind the stick, so to speak, because you haven't figured out how to make money away from your job. Here's what you don't know, and I'll show you. Tell me, and I got my pad right here, so I'm gonna write this out. I hope y'all can see it. But I want y'all to tell me, and I hope y'all can see this. All right, probably can't. Let me see. I'm gonna do my best to write it big, right? So we're going to start off. Some of you own houses, so we'll just put rent instead of mortgage. But rent/mortgage. Lights. What are the other big expenses you have? Insurance, food and gas. And you guys have phone, you have TV, we could go on and on. I was just going to leave it at that, but I just want to show you something. This is a reality for me, so I know it's going to hit for you. I know it's going to be a reality for you because you're going through the same thing that I used to go through. But I'm telling you, you can change it, and I'm going to give you an example. All right, so if you look hard, you're going to see rent. Hope you guys can see it. Rent, lights, insurance, food, gas, phone, on and on and on. What are all these? These are expenses. These are the things that you pay to make a living. So your kids go to the school that your money allows them to go to. Does that make sense? So if you don't make a lot of money, you're probably not living in a good school district because schools love property tax, right? The best schools have the best houses around them, typically, so they can get the property tax money, right? We're not going to dive into that, but just follow me. If you're not making enough money, your kids are probably not going to the top school, right? So money's going to determine a lot. Money's going to determine if your kid's going to get bullied at school or not. Money's going to determine if you can take your significant other on a good date or a not so good date. Money's going to determine how many vacations you can take per year, right? What places you can eat at. Money's going to determine the experiences in life that you have. So think about all these things, right? Rent, lights, insurance, food, gas, etc. What do all these things have in common besides they cost money? They're expenses, right? All of these things are bills, pretty much. You remember that Beyonce song, bills, bills, bills? So all these things are bills. Now, let me ask you a question. And I'm just going to take a guess. I'm going to try to read your mind, and I'm going to try to be a psychic right now, and I'm going to take a guess, and I'm going to ask you. I'm going to tell you, I bet I can guess how you pay for all these things. All right, I'm going to write it down on a sheet of paper like the magicians do. Tell me if I'm right. I'm going to draw a box around it so you can see it. Tell me if this is how you pay for all your bills. Paycheck, is that true? Okay, so that's true. Now, let me ask you this. If anything happens, you guys follow me? If anything happens to your paycheck, what happens to your rent, your lights, your insurance, your food, your gas, your phone, etc.? What happens? The obvious happens. You lose them. So my question is, if anything happens to your paycheck, and it will, what are you going to do? How are you going to pay your bills? See the dangers of having only a paycheck? What that tells me, what that chart tells me is that your paycheck controls your entire life. And if anything happens to your paycheck, if anything disrupts your income, it's going to disrupt your life. And the worst part for a lot of you, you have families. So it's bad enough it disrupt your life, but now it's got to disrupt everybody else's life. Now you got to wake your family up and say, hey, we got to move in the middle of the night. We got to get going. We can't afford to be here tomorrow. Ain't a good feeling. And I'm doing it this way intentionally. I'm trying to make it hit home so you can understand the realities of the war that we in. And this is an economic war. So my advice to you, learn how to make money without needing that paycheck. If you can get away from that paycheck, controlling your whole life, you can have freedom. The goal in life is not money, it's freedom. You know how I know? Because time is more valuable than any amount of money. Name your price. We can put it on a paycheck and give it to you right now. And you can take the check to the bank, cash it. You can have however much money you ever dreamed of. But as soon as you cash the check, you die because you're out of time. Now, who's going to cash the check? Nobody. Because everybody knows that time is more valuable than money. Now, we want to get the money so we can get the time back. So the poor and the middle class, their mindset is to trade time for money. Hey, I'll sell you 40 hours a week in exchange for this paycheck. And again, nothing wrong with that. I'm just trying to open your mind to understand or give you a different perspective on, hey, that's not the only way you need to be getting money. You got to find another way to get money in 2024. If the paycheck is your only way, you're handcuffed. This is voluntary slavery, and you just check yourself in to a world of torture. They're going to, if you sell it, they'll buy all your time until you're 65. And then they'll send you home tired and beat up and tell you, good job. Probably give you a plaque or something else, because they don't even retire you no more. Now it used to be defined benefits where the companies had to retire you. Now it's defined contributions like 401ks. It went from, hey, my company's going to retire you as long as you stay here and work. And now it is, hey, thank you for working here. I hope you saved up your money and invested it because you're responsible for your own retirement. You got to retire you, honey. And so if that hadn't hit you, what are we talking about? Right? What are you guys doing out there? Oh, I know. You're watching Cat Williams interviews. You're watching all that drama. You're on Instagram and Facebook trauma bonding with other people. And drama bonding. Girl, you heard about this and this? No, don't want to know. Don't have time. Don't have anywhere to store it mentally. Need to find out how to build wealth for my family. Need to find out how to get in a successful position to change my life and those around me. I don't have time to watch that. You watch that. You tell me what happened. I need to do this. My focus is over here, not over there. I don't care what they said. These guys are rich. I'm trying to build something for me. Right? I live here in Dallas. So just a couple of weeks ago, the Cowboys lost. Right? And people were going nuts all over social media. And these are rich NFL football players. They don't know you. You don't know them. But it ruins your day when they lose. It's not ruining their day. They're going home rich. So what are you doing with your time? My advice to you, find a way to make money where you don't need a job to do it. You know how to do it? I'll give you a clue. That thing you're watching me on, probably your cell phone or your laptop, that's how you make money. Use it to make money for you. Uber app makes money. Instagram, just an app on a phone, makes money. Instacart, Airbnb, all these companies make billions of dollars. Right? And these companies don't own anything. They don't own your house. Airbnb doesn't own your house. They can't rent it to you. Right? Instacart doesn't own your car. Uber doesn't own your car. They don't own the driver. They just help you to connect. I call that a middleman company. By the way, Thursday night, I'm going to be teaching on that. If you want to get a link or an invite to the Zoom training, simply just write the word yes in the comments and I'll hit you with a link. And you can be on the live training with me and learn what I do. Because you might be thinking, man, he does a lot of videos. He's got a lot of time on his hands. Absolutely. You know why? Don't have to go to work to make a living. You want freedom? Eliminate your job. You want freedom? Eliminate your need for a paycheck. You want freedom? Fire your boss before they fire you. That's freedom. Now, don't go do that until you're making money another way. You listen to me good. I promise you I would tell you how you can make money in 2024 without leaving the house. Use your cell phone. It uses you. It's time for you to use it to make money. I do every day use my cell phone to make money. I don't have to leave the house. I don't have to leave my office. I don't have to go anywhere or do anything. My office is in my home. This is a home office. I don't have to go anywhere. I don't have to take 30-minute lunches. I don't have to listen to bosses. I don't have to get yelled at, written up. I'm not coming to your meetings. I'm not fake clapping at your meetups in the morning. I'm not doing any of that. I've done all that. I never want to do that again. And while I was doing all that, I was poor. How poor? Po. Couldn't even afford the O and the R. I was just po. So if you want to learn, if you're sitting there going, man, all this sounds familiar. Man, Shon, you're speaking to me. You're talking about my life right now. If that's you, and I know it is, if that's you and you're sitting there thinking, I've got to find a way to not be dependent on that job. I've got to find a way to not need a paycheck to cover all my expenses. I've got to find a way to make money when I'm not at work. And I don't care if you call it a side hustle, call it a business, call it whatever you want to call it. A hobby, doesn't matter to me. But you need to focus on finding a way to make money. I don't care what you do. You need to focus on finding a way to make money without having to go to work. So when your job fires you, yes, they will. Technology is going to replace you before you know it. Somebody who's willing to work for less is going to replace you before you know it. You want 50 grand a year, they want 40 grand a year. Out the door you go. Companies, as their stocks plummet, layoffs. If you don't believe I know what I'm talking about, go do some research right now when you get off this live call. Go do some research right now and say, type in layoffs around America. Just type that in. And you'll start seeing these big companies laying people off. You know why? Because these are publicly traded companies. That means their share prices are dipping. Labor cost has to go because there's a board who's eliminating that because their best interests, they're not focused on your best interests. They're focused on the shareholders or the stockholders' best interests. Their stock has to perform at a higher price. They don't give a damn about you. Ooh, did I say that out loud? Say it again. They don't give a damn about you. You got nothing to do with their success. They'll eliminate you like this and move on from you. So if you want to learn how to make money using your cell phone without having to go to work every day, you want to make an extra $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month, ain't bad, without leaving the house, I'll show you how to do it. Reply yes in the comments or DM me and say, hey, I need a link to that live Zoom training Thursday night. I want to be on it. I want to learn how to do this. I want to be able to put my family in a better financial position. I'm tired of my spouse having to work all the time. I'm tired of me having to work all the time. I'm tired of missing the kids' events because we're always at work. I'm tired of coming home, can't play with the children because I'm tired. I'm worn out. And I know this ain't the way to live. I know this ain't freedom. I feel like I'm in prison. I know I'm in prison. I know my only source of income is that paycheck. And I understand if anything happens to that job, we are in trouble, financially speaking. If that's you, reply yes in the comments. I'll give you a link to the free Zoom training, right? If you want to get into the Zoom training, reply yes in the comments and I'll get you a link. We'll send it to you. You'll have it and you'll be able to learn how to start your own business. Because you know why I'm not at work right now? Because I don't have a job. And that's a good thing. Because I have a business that works through my cell phone. As long as I have my cell phone, I can make money. I can make money. I can make one call, make $250 in one call. How do you do that? That's why you need to be in the Zoom class. I'm going to teach you 3 things. Teach you how to book, book, deposit, and dispatch. I'll say it again. Book, deposit, dispatch. I'm going to teach you how to find a customer and book them. I'm going to teach you how to take a deposit and get yourself paid. And then I'm going to teach you how to dispatch to work so you don't have to leave the house. Now, if that doesn't excite you, then you are on the wrong channel listening to the wrong guy. Because I'm here to change your life. I'm here to disrupt the way you think about money. I'm here to disrupt the way you feel about your job and your paycheck. I'm here to change the way your bank account looks. You don't even like looking at it every morning. I look at my bank account every morning because I like seeing money in it. There was a day where I hated my bank account because I knew I didn't have any money. But if you want to change everything, then it starts with a yes. That's all it takes. Okay? I can't force you to change your life. I'm just telling you the dangers of relying on a paycheck for the rest of your life. Not pretty. Reply yes. It starts with a yes. Put a yes in the comments or DM me. Get that Zoom link. I'll share it with you. It's free training. Free training, 6:30 p.m. Texas time. Probably be about 30, 45 minutes. Not going to take long. It's going to bless you, bless your socks off, and change your life. Anyway, guys, I got to go. Have a wonderful, blessed day. I got to get back to making some money and doing some things I enjoy doing. And just think about it. 3 months from now, you can fire your boss and do what you want to do. Still making money. 6 months from now, fire your boss. A year from now, fire your boss. Doesn't matter when, as long as you get to do it. I got to go, y'all. Y'all have a wonderful, blessed day. Peace.